Hi, my name's Matt Cox, and I'm a con man. I was recently released from federal prison went to prison for a variety of bank fraud related scams. Depending on who you listen to, who you believe, I've stole between $15 million to $55 million, which $55 million is a fucking stretch. I've had a couple dozen driver's licenses and IDs. Actually, to be honest with you, I've probably stolen over 50 to 100 actual identities. I've had a couple dozen passports. I've been in and out of the country. I led the Secret Service and the FBI on a 3-year manhunt while on probation and continuing to fucking commit fraud. And the judge had no sense of humor about that. So anyway, I was recently released, and today I am reviewing the movie The Grifters. All right, so the movie The Grifters, it's about a mother, son, and the son's girlfriend. Their names are, well, it's John Cusack plays a guy named Roy Dillon. It's about his mom, Lilly Dillon, which is played by Anjelica Huston, and
Who gives a shit who's in the movie?
Myra? Myra's hot, bro.
I don't care.
You don't care?
Push the fucking button.
Okay.
Okay? Tell us what's bullshit and what's not.
All right, I'm going. This is a bunch of grifters. You know what a grifter is? It's just a con man. It's another name for a con man. All right, here's the first clip. Clip 1. This is basically what grifters do.
Can I get a Miller, please?
You got it.
Nice, right? So he's already seen the 20. The 20 registers, he thinks it's a 20. Boom, he takes the 10 and gives him a change for a 20.
Add a 20. 3, 4.
Yeah, it's a common bullshit scam.
Thank you.
And you get your ass beat for it. I mean, did you watch the movie? Yes, but God damn, I don't know. Why are you here? All right. And this is his mother, who's old school, but she works for the mob.
5,000 on the 3-horse to win, please.
And she shaves bets on gambling for the mob. And she's skimming. You realize this right away. She's skimming, which obviously happens, I'm sure. I mean, come on, who doesn't skim a little bit, right? It's expected. So basically, it's just them running short cons. I mean, people run short cons all the time. There are people that live their whole fucking life. They don't have a job. They just run short cons, and that's what they are. They're grifters. They run short cons. Don't even show fucking the chick. She's basically same thing. Run a little kind of bullshit scams. All right, this is clip 2.
That dump you live in?
This is he and his mom.
Those clown pictures on the walls?
I like those.
You do not. Roy Dillon, cornball clown pictures, commission salesman. It's all a front. You're working some angle, and don't tell me you're not, because I wrote the book.
You want to talk? You still running playback money for the mob?
That's me. That's who I am.
This is his little stash, which everybody has a stash. I had a fucking, I had the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, there's an article on me in Forbes magazine, and the chick, Becky, one of the chicks that I was with, she tells them about how she came home one day and I pulled the painting off the wall and pulled a bunch of money out of the back of the painting. Well, not painting, it was just a regular picture. There was a painting in the picture, but it was a frame. This is him running a game.
I stretch my legs. You want to come along?
This is great.
Yes. Look, I spilled all your drinks. Don't worry about it. You sure you're okay? What are those beers? Don't worry about it. Watch this. I'll be right back. $4 Millers.
Doesn't even pay for the beers. Runs a scam on the bartender to get the beers that he spilled to set up the guys so that he can take their money. This is.
Good way, my friend.
Get better at this, man.
Want to go one more time?
He's got a magnet in his sleeve so that he can control the dice. It's fucking great. What's funny about that is like he's running the scam on the bartender while he's running the scam on these guys, and it just makes me. It just reminds me. I had a buddy named Isaac Allen, and he literally would be running a scam and like he'd have to rent a room and rent a car and everything he was buying to set up his big scam was every single thing was run off of fraud. The credit card for this is fraud, the credit card for this is fraud. The problem with that is that he's not really investing in the scam, and you end up, your entire fucking scam gets wiped out because you're fucking around. You don't want to pay $120 to end up making $100,000. And that's just stupid. Matter of fact, there was a huge scam in a huge credit card ring that got busted exactly like that, like back in early 2000s. The guy uses a fake credit card and ends up, the credit card bounces, the credit card company says it's a stolen number, the cops show up, they go upstairs to grab the guy just to tell him to get out of the room, and there's all this counterfeiting equipment and computers and all kinds of stuff, and they bust him for this huge counterfeiting ring and the credit card fraud ring because he didn't want to pay $120 for a room. What a fucking idiot. I mean, you know, that guy deserves to go to prison. I mean, he deserves to go to prison anyway, even more so. I think that should be an enhancement. So, okay, all right, because you know they have that. They have enhancements in the federal sentencing guidelines. Like you can, if you rob someone, it's one thing, and then of course if you threaten them, it's another thing, and then if you steal their identity, it's another. It's just the enhancements keeps going and going and going. Anyway, okay, so all right, clip 3. This is clip 3. Great. This is because his girlfriend's figured out that he's a scam artist, and she's trying to convince him to do a long con. So she starts telling him about the long con that she used to be a part of.
What we have here today, Mary Beth, is strictly be
Oh,
clear.
I told Mr. Heving all about it. How brilliant you are at making money for your
And this is
special clients.
this is basically a con that they call the it's
Here's the money.
an upgrade for something called the rag. It's called the wire, and
We
they
are talking about breaking the law here. I just want to make sure you understand that. No one is going to get hurt, but the law is going to be broken.
Laws are made to be broken, aren't they?
Loose talk is the thing I worry most about.
I can keep my mouth shut.
so this is the mark.
Foster, come on over
This
here.
is
Sit
the
down.
inside man or the confidence man. She's the roper. She ropes in the marks.
Tokyo Exchange.
He's explaining
is
the
9 hours
con.
behind us. The New York Exchange is 1 hour ahead of us. There is never 1 hour in which both exchanges are open. Information moves, but it has to wait. Now, I have a fellow.
No,
working
no,
with me.
exactly.
You know what a hacker
You're
is?
incorporating him into
Yeah,
your
sure,
scam.
looks like a computer.
So I'm letting you know we're about to break the law.
Very good. What
That
this
way,
boy's
when
been
you
able
get
to
ripped
do
off,
is tap
you're not going to go to
into
the
that main
cops.
link between Tokyo
What are you going
and
to tell
New
them?
York.
I was
And what
trying
you
to rip
really
off
need
these guys, and then I got
is
ripped
to
off?
give us a 7-second delay in the transfer of that information to you. And
this is perfect, too, 'cause they give him the blow-off.
To put a buy order, a sell
And it's the
order
same
into
way that this
computer in
the
New York
organization used to
just
do it back in
before
the
that
20s
data
and
from Tokyo
30s.
comes pulling in right behind it.
The least we ever took was 40,000, and the most was $185,000 from one sucker.
And this is the blow off. So they just took his money. Now he was a part of that. There's a murder. Somebody got shot. They got his money. He's just the marks now. Like I just want to get out of here. I don't want to be a part of this whole thing. They took my money. Keep my fucking money. I love the way she rubs the blood all over him. He's flipped out. He just wants to get out of there. That's it. He's just ready to get out without going to prison. So anyway, this is the girlfriend trying to rope him in, and you know what's so funny about that?
Do you know anyone that's pulled the scheme off like that?
No, not.
Blow off. Does anyone actually discuss how are we gonna do the blow off? Do you think that's an actual conversation, or is it just a natural part?
No, I think what's happening is that I think that these guys that are writing these movies are taking what's a known scam and what was the basic conception of what a long con is, and they're just kind of updating it and turning it into a movie, because the truth is they don't really know any real scams. And they can't really figure it out, so they go with something traditional and they put it into a movie, and then they end up making it. I mean, it's a real thing. It'd be different if I said, oh, that doesn't really happen, because that does happen. It has happened. It's a known con. And we're not talking about it happened a few times. We're talking about these guys went for decades and did this and went around the country doing it. This is a thing. This is a thing that in a way happens to this very day. For instance, I wrote a story called The Gap. And there was a guy named Donovan Davis, and he ends up getting taken by these two con men that start a Forex, like a Forex hedge fund type thing. So people start investing, and they basically take the money and take off and leave Donovan. Donovan gets the blow off in a new way, because they leave him holding the bag. They leave Donovan, they've now built Donovan out of several $1 million, plus Donovan helped raise $17 million. These guys took off with the fucking money, and then when Donovan actually goes to the U.S. attorney, tells them this is a fucking scam, they indict Donovan along with the other guys, and the other guys say, yeah, he was in on it the whole time. But there's no proof he was in on it, other than them saying it.
Do you think that was their plan from the beginning, or do you think they just developed to say?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it evolved that way. Here's what I think. I don't think they ever thought they were going to get caught. I think that they started off running a scam, and it got really big, and I don't think that they believed that they were actually going to get caught.
And them themselves also were part of getting scammed as well.
Oh, well, who? The con men? No, the two con men, the one guy, was like his second or third Ponzi scheme. This is the third time he'd done it.
But they had actually invested the real money
into
that other guy.
No, Donovan invested his money. The two guys didn't ever invest their money. They didn't invest a dime.
Wasn't it with the other company, the guy who ended up...
Oh, yeah, okay, I didn't realize. Oh, yeah. No, they had invested into another scheme that they didn't know was a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. And then it collapsed. Yeah. You're right.
Legitimate money,
but that wasn't their intent.
They were stealing money, but they were...
That wasn't their intent, though.
Trying to make some money.
I know what you're saying, but that wasn't their intent. They didn't expect to get ripped off. Right. Yeah, it's a good fucking story, bro. It is a good story.
You can watch it on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Oh, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. It's called The Gap. It's a great story. Anyway, so it's a variation of this particular scam. It's more like a new version of it. And the main guy, the main Mark, ends up going to prison. He gets the most time most time than all of them, because he actually goes to trial because he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Not realizing, of course, even if you're not guilty and you go to trial, you got about a 50% chance of being found guilty in the United States. Land of the free. Oh, if you don't have money, you don't have a fucking prayer. Just take the charge. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. You know what this does remind me of, though? When she's trying to convince him to commit the crime. I had a buddy named Isaac Allen, right? I mentioned him before. Here's the thing. I remember, like, guys that went along with my scams, for instance, guys that went along with my scams would be typically legitimate guys. They'd see me making money, and so we're talking about a college graduate who's never really committed a crime, but he sees me making all this money. To me, it wasn't hard to convince them to, look, all you got to do is this and this and this and this, and you'll make 10 grand, do this, and you'll make 100 grand. You can pull out 50 grand out of the house, let it go into foreclosure. You could, and they would go along. They'd be like, absolutely, bro, because they saw me making all this money, and they knew that I'd been doing it for years. So they felt safe about it. Well, because I had a legitimate what appeared to be a legitimate business. So Isaac didn't have that option. He's a straight con man. So I was like, well, where are you getting these guys to help do all this? And he goes, yeah, I would go to the courthouse. I was like, what do you mean you go to the courthouse? He goes, yeah. He said, I started thinking about it one day. I was like, where am I going to get guys? Like, how do you meet criminals? He goes, so I thought, it's not like they have resumes. And then I thought about it, and I thought, well, yeah, maybe they kind of do. So he and his wife would go sit in your first appearance hearing in the morning. They do it from like 9 to like 11, where you have first appearances where people get arrested and they come through. No shit, I shit you not. He and his wife would go sit there and watch the first appearances. This guy comes in, DUI, okay. This guy comes in, murder, okay. This one, gunshot. This one, this one, carjacking. This one, burglary. This one, fraud. Fraud? And he'd write the case number down. And then he said, now every once in a while, Your Honor, we don't want him to get bond because of this or that. And he said, so what happens is, they do so many of them. You get some guy, they'd say, this is his third check fraud case or whatever. He'd be like, third time. Nice. Guy goes to jail, got a $5,000 bond. Isaac would write him a letter, put money on his books, write a letter saying, call this phone number, I'm going to bond you out. The guy would call and be like, yeah, man, who is this? What, you put $100 on my books? What's going on, man? And he would say, look, I'm going to bond you out. When you go to your property, there's going to be an envelope there with some money in it and a room key. Go to the room, and there'll be a cell phone with your stuff. Call me, and I've rented you a room. The guy would he'd bond him out. You only have to pay $500. $500. He bonds him out on a $5,000 bond. $500. Guy goes to get his property. His wife would have gone in and said, hey, John Thompson is about to get out. Can I leave this in his property? And they go, sure, no problem. They'll put it in his property. So he gets his property back, and there's an envelope. He gets the envelope. There's a fucking address with a room key and a cell phone. He calls the number and goes to the motel, and they go, okay, where you at the motel? Okay, well, I got your room. So here's what I'm doing. I'm running a scam. Here's what I need you to do. And he'd explain the scam to him. And the guy would you're either in or out. He goes, honestly, we're talking about less than, it's $500-600. It cost me almost nothing. And I was like, are you serious? Yeah. He goes, so for like every 2 or 3 of those guys, I'd get 1 or 2 that would do it. And then he'd run the scam with that guy. Guy never meets him. It's brilliant. If I actually broke down exactly what his scam was, it is by far one of the most brilliant scams ever. It's phenomenal. It's like one of those stories, like, remember I told you I've got like fucking 5 or 10 of them that are in my back pocket? That's one of them. Amazing, amazing. Probably one of the top 5 brightest guys I've ever met. Of course, all 5 of the brightest guys I've ever met were in federal prison. Okay, let's go. Let's move on. Let's go. Okay. So this is clip 4, and basically this is where there's like a double cross happening. It's good stuff. Hey, this is Matt Cox. I hope you're enjoying the video. Wanted to let you guys know real quick that one of the ways I pay my bills is I do paintings. My paintings range anywhere from $800 to a couple thousand, but I also have smaller paintings that I sell for $295, and that includes shipping. And I've got Marilyn Monroe, Bubblegum Girl, Biggie Smalls. I've even got some Trumps. I'm gonna leave my information in the description box, and enjoy the rest of the video. So that the girlfriend figures out what the mom's scam is. And she double crosses her. The girlfriend, Myra, scumbag. They're all scumbags. The mom's a scumbag. The kid's a scumbag. Myra's the worst though. Because she's like a bad con woman.
Somebody blew you out with Bobo. The car full of money, he's... Lilly? Lilly! Lilly, come on. Lilly! Bobo knows about all the money in the car. The money you stole from him.
It's all bad. Yeah, Myra sets her up, tells the boss. She grabs all the money, takes off. Basically, it's a way to get her alone and away from everybody else.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Phoenix.
I'd like a single room for tonight.
Myra's got a room key. I'm not sure how this is possible. Actually, with those new scanners, I knew a guy that had the scanner. He would just go into hotel rooms and scan put the cards in and run the scan. Open doors. Walk right in the room. Really feel like I cut this clip up more, and I feel like you missed a bunch of clips. It's way too long. Just saying. In general, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Once again, you do the whole chokes. He chokes her completely out. I cut out half that. It was bad. This is a horrible scene. Look, she chokes her to death. It's horrible. Well, he chokes her a little, not to death, because we know what happens. So. All right, so, yeah, didn't they find the body? So,
Whose body?
That's the thing, isn't it? That's the great thing about the movie. We don't know whose body is it. Looked to me like Lilly got choked out, but Lilly, she's old school. She got a gun. Never had a gun. Wouldn't use a gun. I've been robbed. Gave him the money. I could steal more money. Anyway, you got a gun. You might end up getting shot with your own gun, unless you're ready to kill somebody. I'm not killing anybody. I'm nonviolent. Oh shit! No, I can't go to a pen. Fuck, that's where violent criminals go. No, absolutely not. That's like a state crime thing. I'm committing a state crime. Okay. Yeah, Lily's desperate, bro. Lilly didn't get killed. She ends up killing Myra, who was trying to kill her. Double cross on the double cross. It's a fucking good. It's good shit. Even though they're all scumbags, you know. So now she goes and she's stealing from her son. She's robbing her son's stash. Once again, the clip's too long. I had it clipped up, broken up.
I'm sorry, Roy.
Just saying.
I hated to take your money.
I'm just saying you're better than this. That's all I'm saying.
Roy,
Just saying you're better than this.
I need this money.
All right. Look, he's not going to let her take the money, so what does she do? It's all bad. It's all bad.
You didn't include enough making out and stuff or some weird...
No, there's some weird fucking incestual weirdness going on there. Yeah. Yeah, she's got some issues. He's got some issues. Yeah. And she looks like she gets away with the money. The problem with getting away with the money is that it's just so hard to really disappear. Back then it probably wouldn't have been. You could probably go quite a while. Look at Whitey Bulger. He went for like 17 years or something.
Santa Monica is insane.
Yeah. He went forever. He went for a long time. The problem with criminals is, you know what mine makes me think of? Remember Escape from Alcatraz? Like it was like, yeah, they all got away and they drowned. Yeah. They were all career criminals. Three guys didn't get on a raft, disappeared, never committed another crime. Trust me, they all drowned. They got eaten by sharks, they're dead. So it's ridiculous to think that they got away, that they got out and they'd all go get factory jobs, pay their bills and never break the law again. Stop. That's not gonna happen. It's not like, it just doesn't happen.
It was a brilliant escape, though.
It was an amazing escape. It was an amazing escape. So this, what I was gonna say is, you know, it's funny because like you do the whole non-violent thing. Like it's non-violent, oh, is it? Well, then you see how she goes for the money and hits the kid and he accidentally gets killed. Well, I mean, it's funny, I've met multiple guys that were doing non-violent crimes and some murder ended up happening. Because you're dealing with people that are criminals and you're dealing with lots of money and you're in a position where you're taking advantage of other criminals and you know he can't go to the cops. so I'm going to take the money from him. He can't do anything. Well, the truth is, if he resists in any way, it suddenly becomes violent and somebody ends up getting killed. And that happens, and that's what happens in this movie. You know, two of the grifters end up getting murdered. So, although to be fair, the one chick was justifiable homicide, and the son was an accident. So I think it's more like it's more manslaughter. It's more you know.
If she pleads out, what should she get for that?
You know, in California, honestly, she'd probably back then, she'd probably gotten barely any time, maybe 5 years. Maybe she got 10. A lot of these places, they'll get 10 years. They do 5. They get put on parole. You know, there's no, like most states, almost none of the states have parole anymore. They have some kind of supervision. Yeah, okay, so that's it. That's Grifters. Listen, they're just a bunch of small-time grifters. Like, to me, grifters are like, they're like 3-card Monty type, just skeezy, low-life, $20 scams, little tiny, just really just a step above a drug dealer. State crimes. Just disgusting. Anyway. Oh my God. Okay, listen, man. That's it. So, hey, run the video a couple of times, you know, over and over. Apparently the algorithm likes it if you watch it multiple times. I need the subscribers.
Leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment. Tell your friends and family to watch the videos. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Later, dog.